You know the moment. You are in SketchUp, the design idea is right there. You can almost see it, but to actually see it, you have to export, wait, import, tweak, wait again. And by the time something comes back on the screen, the idea is gone. So I've been testing D5 3.1 workflow that removes all of that. No more losing your creative momentum. This is a complete AI workflow in one ecosystem. So let's get into it. This is where the project actually starts. Not in a renderer, not in Photoshop. Right here inside SketchUp. D5 Lite runs as a live plugin directly in my modeling environment. So there is no export, no round tripping, no interruption. It just sits there in the viewport, updating in real time as I work. And it has two modes that matter here: AI mode creative and AI mode accurate. So let me show you the difference. I'm in the creative mode. I set the camera angle, pick the style direction that will be residential villa for my case. Let's quickly describe our concept in the prompt, but this is purely optional, you don't have to do that. And let's hit generate. What I get back is the 4 concept images, not previews, no placeholders. And these are proper render concept directions. Materiality, atmosphere, and mood, it's all there. At this stage of the project, before the design decisions are locked, this is incredibly useful, because now I'm reacting to something instead of trying to describe it. The client can look at these 4 images and say which direction feels right. The conversation used to happen in your head, now it happens on the screen. And now this is important. These aren't fixed outputs. I can take one of those 4 images and iterate on it. So I want a car in the driveway. Let's describe what I want and let's regenerate. Same scene, updated in place. No re-import. This is the difference between a static AI output and an actual design tool. Now let's switch to the accurate mode. This tightens the slider and the AI stays closer to my actual geometry. Less creative interpretation, more faithful rendering of what's actually in the model. So you can use the creative mode for exploring directions and the accurate mode to communicate the actual design. 2 completely different use cases. Same tool, same moment in the process. Oh, and one more thing. D5 Lite isn't just for SketchUp anymore. From 3.1, it also runs inside Rhino and Revit. So whatever you model in, this workflow is now available to you. Now we move into D5 Render, and before we do anything else, I wanted to show you D5 Works. Because one of the biggest time sinks in any visualization workflow is asset sourcing. Searching online, downloading files, converting formats, importing. It kills momentum faster than anything else. That's why we have D5 Works. So D5 Works is a curated 3D asset library built for AEC projects. So you can open the launcher, go to the Works on the left, find what you need, and drag it straight into the scene into SketchUp or D5 Render. That's the workflow. So it means no browser tab, no separate download. Just find it, drag it in, done. But also, D5 Works can be accessed via website. It supports multiple formats and the creators keep 100% of their revenue, with 0% platform commission. And that's something that really sets Works apart from many other platforms. All architecture ready and all properly scaled. D5 Render already includes a rich built-in asset library, but I really recommend trying D5 Works first. But here is what I really wanted to show you. I take one of the concept images generated in D5 Lite, the one from the creative mode that the client responded to, and I drop it into the AI asset recommendation. D5 reads the image and suggests matching assets from the library. Furniture, plants, characters that fits the style. A shortlist that's actually relevant to the direction I'm already heading. So the chain from the concept image to the asset recommendation is something I haven't seen anywhere else. It keeps the creative thread intact across the whole process. So I'll be adding more assets and materials as we build the scene out. Now, vegetation. If you've ever placed plants manually in the renderer, you know exactly what it takes. One by one. Rotating, scaling, adjusting density. It's one of the most time-consuming parts of any exterior scene. I'm using AI Smart Planting, and I will use it 3 times on a completely different areas. First, the flower bed in the back garden. I'm going to the AI agent, selecting minimalist, floralless garden, and describe the planting character. And before it places anything, D5 shows me the asset list it's planning to use. I can review it, change species, and change the density. That previous step is what makes this feel like a controlled design decision, not a random drop. Then I generate, and as you can see, the result is fantastic. Now I can review what areas it generated and amend them if need be. I can reduce or increase the frequency of certain species or add additional plants to those areas. I can simply choose additional plant from the assets library and drop them in. Second, the lawn. Different area with different character. I'm using the scatter preset for the lawn coverage, and again I can manipulate the outcome. Decide on certain species scale and adjust it to my needs. And in the D5 3.1, there is one more thing worth showing you here: seasonal vegetation. So I will generate the flower bed next to the entrance, and in the AI agent I'm selecting the seasonal flower bed. You can choose the time of the year, and as before you have the full list now. The same planted scene can shift between the spring, summer, autumn and winter without replanting anything. And the setting is located within GeoSky, worth knowing when preparing the options for the planning application. For a client presentation where you are showing how a landscape reads across the year, this is genuinely useful. 3 completely different results, same workflow, not a single manual placement. I want a specific piece of furniture in the living space, a coffee table, one that fits the design direction we've already established. But it's not in the library, so I grab the reference photo of it and drop it into the AI image to 3D. And in a couple of minutes, I've got a 3D model ready to place. So for communicating the design intent to a client, for spatial feel and the atmosphere, that's absolutely amazing. And the alternative? Spending an hour sourcing, converting, importing the model, this is what it replaces. If you want to try D5 3.1 yourself, the link is in the description. Use it to get 5% off your subscription. This is the part that separates a good render from a great one. And it's also the part that used to eat the most time. My client sent me a reference photograph, anthracite brickwork, the specific material they want for the exterior. So not a stock texture, not a library material, the actual photograph. So this is now my input. I drop it into AI PBR material snap. I select the settings, now I apply the displacement, and the displacement is different from a normal map. It actually pushes the geometry at the render time. I hit generate and let's see the results. Perfect. D5 builds the full PBR material set. Normal map, roughness, height map from a single photograph. Oh, and alongside that, it also suggests the matching materials already in the library. So I get a custom generated material and a short list of close alternatives at the same time. Nice, it has a real surface depth, not a simulated depth. You see it most on close-up shots. The mortar joints, the face of each brick. And in 3.1 there is a new feature that works alongside this. Height field tracing. The height map now casts and receives actual shadows at the render time, not just visual depth. So the brickwork doesn't just look 3-dimensional, it behaves like it is. Getting the atmosphere right is honestly one of the most frustrating parts of any rendering workflow. You know what mood you want the image to feel like, but describing it in slider values, it's nearly impossible. AI Atmosphere Match solves this. I find a reference image that captures the feeling I'm going for. It doesn't have to be architecture, a film still, a landscape, anything with the right quality light. Upload it and hit generate. D5 rebuilds the light, the sky and the weather to match. Obviously it's not perfect, I will still slightly adjust it. But I have a direction in seconds instead of spending 20 minutes guessing it. And when you have a direction, every small adjustment has a target. I run this the second time to get a different result. Same scene, different presentation register in seconds. And we now have both from the same model without any additional work. Before we get into the renders and post-production, I want to be honest with you. As an architect, I'm not gonna tell you this replaces your professional judgment, because it doesn't. Every one of those AI outputs needed a decision from me. Which direction, which material, which mood. That's still design thinking, that's still on you. What D5 removes is the time you would spend building from zero just to have something to react to. And when you skip that part, the decisions come faster. That's a real difference. Now we are going to generate final renders, 5 shots from the project. When it comes to the resolution, you can export in anything between 2K and 16K. The first one is living space. The way the light sits on that floor, that's the moment I knew the material choices were right. Now the kitchen, and this one is clean. The proportions read really well, and the depth on the surfaces is exactly what I was after. Wow, the front elevation, the brickwork is doing exactly what it should. It grounds the building without overpowering it. Now the front perspective, I really like this angle. The landscape planting frames the building without competing with it. And the perspective at the back, this is the shot I would put in a planning application. The scale reads correctly, and the atmosphere feels right for the site. Now, AI Enhancer. What this does is add micro details that renders almost always miss. I'm running it on the brickwork exterior because after the displacement work we did earlier, this is where the details pays off the most. Nice. Subtle texture variation, natural imperfection on surfaces. Now, the same for the interior. Very good result. It's subtle, but it's the kind of subtle that matters. This is the kind of things that makes the image feel photographed rather than rendered. Then, AI Inpainting. This is a targeted region edit tool. So I just simply select an area of the rendered image, something I'm not happy with, and D5 regenerates just that region without re-rendering the whole image again. Wow. For production work, that's a significant time saving. Now I will do the same for the people. Yeah, perfect result. So there is no going back to the scene, no adjusting the camera, no full re-render. Just fix the problem in place and move on. And finally, the style transfer on the renders. As you can see here, we have several realistic and stylized options. I will focus on 3 variations: marker drawing, night, and sunset. Each one takes seconds, and each one serves a different moment in the design process. Marker for concept presentations, sunset for planning applications, night for atmosphere. All from the same final render. There is no additional work. And before we move on, if you are finding this useful, please like and subscribe. It really does help the channel, and it lets me keep making content like that. Static renders are strong, but animations create emotion, and I want to show you how quickly that actually happens. I'm setting 2 camera keyframes, one on the approach to the building, one inside the living space. We are adjusting the depth of field and positions between shots. Also, as you can see, we have plenty of the camera movement presets to work with, and also animations features if you want some objects to appear within your scene. So, let's generate. Great, the sequence was very quick to render, and this looks just amazing. The same thing used to take me best part of the day with the CPU rendering. That's not a small improvement, that's a completely different way of working. This is the headline feature of D5 3.1, and I want to spend a moment on it. Every presentation I've ever done has involved showing images. The client looks at a screen and tries to imagine the space. And they are watching the design, they are not inside it. Interactive presentation changes that. I open interactive presentation mode and I'm inside the project. Moving through the exterior approach into the living space, I click play. I'm inside the space, I can switch views, move through the building, and this is the part that matters in the client meeting. I can make live changes while they are watching. It all happens in real time, and we can show to the client different design variations. I'm simply changing the brick material on the elevation, and I can keep exploring the model and showing everything to the client. The client is not waiting for a new render. They are watching the decision happen. It not only goes for the materials, you can also swap the furniture or scene atmosphere. That's a completely different kind of presentation. And you can show the seasonal changes inside the presentation too. So if a client asks
how the garden reads in winter,
you just switch it right there while they are sitting in front of you. There is also a small tool in 3.1 worth knowing: MeasureLine Asset. Drop it into the presentation and your dimensions appear live on screen. It sounds minor, but in a client review where someone asks about the room size or a ceiling height, you can just show it. No going back to the drawings. And in the D5 3.1, there is one more thing worth showing you here. In 3.1, you can stream the presentation directly from the interactive presentation section. Settings, stream, and 2 links generate automatically. An editor link for you? and viewer link for whoever you are sharing with. The client gets a link and they open it in their browser on any device with no software and no plugin. And in new D5 3.1, the experience has been improved. It's sharper and more fluid. This works for a pre-planning application consultation, a design review, or just giving a client the sense of space before construction starts. And if your client has a headset, D5 3.1 also supports full VR. Enable the VR widget under Preferences first, then it's ready to go from inside interactive presentation. So they don't just see the space, they stand inside it. Quick one about the display and output settings. They control how the final image is presented and exported. They don't change the scene itself. You have the quality toggle that switches between the real-time preview and accumulation output, which is the highest quality mode for still images. In the post-processing panel, you can sharpen, make transparent, and put motion blur on certain materials. And in 3.1, D5 now uses ACES-CG as its working color space. This is the film industry color standard. This means the colors you are seeing in the viewport are colored managed to the same standard as high-quality film productions. And this is by default, without any additional setup. So, would I use this on a real job? We started with a gray SketchUp model. D5 Lite for concept exploration, creative mode, accurate mode, iterating on the same image. D5 works for assets. AI recommendation driven by its own concept image. Smart planting for the flower beds and the lawn. A reference photo turned into a coffee table model with AI image to 3D. The client's brick photograph became a full PBR material with displacement and the height field tracking. Atmosphere match on 2 scenes, 5 final renders refined with enhancer and inpainting, and animations in seconds. Everything experienced live through interactive presentation, stream, MeasureLine Asset, one workflow, no switching tools, no rebuilding from zero. So the honest answer is yes, I'm using D5 professionally. Not because it makes the decisions for you, it doesn't, but because it removes everything that was never worth your time in the first place. The exports, the waiting, the building from zero just to have something to react to. That time is gone. What's left is the actual design work. When it comes to the pricing, D5 is free to download and use. The community plan gives you the core renderer, 4K output, and the live sync with your modeling software at no cost. If you want the full AI features, the complete asset library, and the commercial use rights, D5 Pro is $38 a month or $360 a year. To put that in context, Lumion starts at over $900 a year, Enscape is around $550. D5 Pro is cheaper than both, and the AI features set in 3.1 version is ahead of either of them. Use my affiliate link in the description to get 5% off your subscription. If this video was useful, please like and subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel to grow, and it means I can keep testing tools like this. And let me know in the comments, would you actually use this workflow on your project? I read every comment and I'm curious about that. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.